Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Health, Fitness and Wellness Episode 1 with Dana, answering all your questions about health, fitness and wellness with the intention of showing women over the age of 40 how to change the way we age. Let me ask you a question. Have you noticed any of these things happening to you as you get older? Have you noticed when you grab a glimpse of yourself in the mirror that you've got more wobbly bits than you once have? Maybe your arms are less toned, your bottom's starting to drip down, or your tummy, well, it's now hanging over your pants. Have you noticed that you just don't feel as strong? It might be when you pick up the groceries, or it might be when you're bending over to make the bed, or even when you're trying to stand up out of a chair. Or have you noticed that you just feel older? Things just aren't working as well as they once were, and you can pretty well predict that your metabolism, well, it feels slower than it once did. Well, if you answered yes to any of that, today I'm answering the question, what is body composition? What is your body composition? And why is this important? So I just want to share with you, firstly, body composition is how much lean muscle mass are you holding in comparison to body fat? Is it more muscle, less fat, or is it more fat, less muscle? The reality is that over the age of 30, we naturally start to lose lean muscle mass. The less muscle you have as you get older put you at risk of things like disease, so things like diabetes, heart disease, blood pressure, cholesterol. It also puts you at risk of things like falling, and it also puts you at risk of putting on weight and your whole body shape changing. So when you're getting all those wobbly bits. So there was a study done in 2014 in America, the American Journal of Medicine, and they did a study with older adults, and they found that women 65 plus that held more muscle in their arms and legs were 63 more times likely to live longer than those that declined in their muscle in their arms and legs. I found that study incredible. Basically, what it's saying is the more muscle you have in your arms and legs, the longer you're going to live. So you're probably asking the question, well, how much do I know how much I've got? Well, this is a bit difficult because the reality is there are ways of finding out, but none of them are that great. You've got things like a machine that you can stand on, and it tells you how much body fat you're holding in comparison to lean muscle mass. But it's not 100% accurate. The reality is if you drink a little bit more water today than you did yesterday, it's going to give you different results. You can also do a thing called a fat caliper test, and that's like a pinch test where they pinch different parts of your body. But once again, if you don't have a professional doing it, those results can be a little bit off as well and not very accurate. There are other things like MRIs where they can really understand how much lean muscle mass you're holding, but gee, they're so expensive, as we all know. So what do you do? Well, we know that lean muscle mass naturally declines over the age of 30. So what we need to do is a two-prong a two-prong action, getting that lean muscle back. So the first thing is exercise. So the type of exercise you should be doing is resistance exercise. So that type of exercise is doing exercises using your body weight, strengthening exercises using your resistance band, using dumbbells, barbells, even Pilates. The important thing to remember is that you do be guided by health and fitness professional so that you don't put yourself at risk of injury, and you do learn correct technique along the way. I always say there's three things that you have to do to make sure that you're doing your resistance exercise to get the benefit, and one is consistency. So you need to be continually doing it. It's not something we can do once and get the results, unfortunately. You need to be challenging yourself. So once you've learned correct technique, you need to be challenging yourself and doing a bit more to enable your lean muscle mass to grow. And last but not least is you need to keep what I say, changing it up. So you need to make sure that you're not staying with the same plan, different day, same plan, different day, same plan, because the body will adapt and you just won't get those same results. The second part of the equation is making sure that your nutrition is correct. So sometimes we think, doing all the exercises, but gee, I'm still not seeing the results. Well, it may be that you haven't got your food right. So in regard to getting your lean muscle mass, your body composition right, you must make sure that you're having adequate animal protein. Now, for my vegetarian girls out there, you're going to say, well, I don't eat animal. Well, that's fine. But you have to do a thing called food combining, because the reality is animal protein, such as meat, such as dairy products, cheese, they have all the amino acids, what we call the essential amino acids required to allow lean muscle mass to build. And if you don't have all the essential amino acids, which unfortunately vegetarian type protein doesn't have in just one source, so you need to combine it to get that, you won't get the same results. So girls, that's the reality here. Make sure you're exercising consistently, make sure you're challenging your body and you're changing it regularly, and make sure that your nutrition is on par to date. Well, please leave me a comment below, and next week I'll be joining you for another episode of answering your health, wellness, and fitness questions. And until then, stay safe.